Southgate will never prosper. He can never prosper. The guy got sacked in Middlesbrough. How and then you think he's going to win the World Cup of England? He is favourites FC, and with him here, the media dictates his teams. He plays players based on the pressure that he gets off the media. And the thing is, yeah, this game was unforgivable. France were there for the taking. England actually played well. It wasn't like England played badly and they were beaten. They played well, but you've got Henderson moving like a bozo. Henderson wasn't doing nothing offensively. I love Jude. Wasn't doing much. You left Rashidi. I'm not the biggest fan of Rashidi, but that was a game for Rashidi to come on with his pace. It would have been a problem.
It definitely was. I felt like Koundé, especially early on, didn't give Foden a sniff. And even if when Foden got it, because he's left-footed, it kind of didn't really flow with the team, I would say, especially with Shaw. I feel like that side wasn't really functioning well.
Yeah, and you can't take Koundé on the outside as well.
No way. Koundé is physically top player.
He's top. And think about it, Shaw and Rashidi have that link up from United. Replicate it for England.
Like, how did he not start? Firstly, I think Southgate should have done 4-2-3-1. I agree with him in going toe to toe with France in terms of a 4 at the back instead of a 5. But yeah, I would have put.
But I feel that's still easy in hindsight to say you can't really drop the team that played against Senegal that played well, that 3-0. So starting with that, I don't mind it, especially going with Hendo's experience and defensively is going to be sound on that side with Mbappe, Declan and Jude. You can't really, for the start of the 11, I don't mind it. During the game, then you can say, change it up. I hear you.
Remember the last video where we did a video about the points, the keys to victories for both teams, and we mentioned that keeping Mbappe and Dembele quiet was essential. But then on the flip side, we needed to have our wingers going at them.
Yeah,
we did keep Mbappe and Dembele quiet, but then we had Foden instead of Rashidi. We did not attack them. We did not. What's the word I'm looking for? We didn't take advantage of the opportunities that we created with the defensively. We kept their danger men quiet, but we didn't have anything going up. As good as Foden is, Foden's a 10. Foden's not a winger. That was a game for Rashidi. Rashidi's pace would have caused Koundé problems. And then you got Kane in the box. Saka played well. Saka played well that game. Saka was taking on his man. He was a problem. The thing with Saka, he likes to slow down the game a bit too much at times. He stops and then slows it down. And that's the problem with Saka, because there's times when the attacker's flowing, he gets the ball and he stops and he's like fluffing about with the ball instead of quick passing and moving.
Exactly.
But at the same time, he was taking on his man and doing his thing. The other side, imagine if you had Rashidi as well flying at you, Saka flying at you. That's a problem.
That's what I'm saying. And Rashford, he tends to stick to the left side. He'll be more wide.
And running behind as well.
Saka out wide right, Rashford out wide left. The amount of space in the middle for Foden. Come on. And then Kane to drop in.
Oh.
Come on, but yeah, I agree with what you said about Saka in terms of him slowing it down. I've said it about him in the Premier League. He needs to be more aggressive. When he gets the ball, I would like to see him go at the player straight away instead of holding it up. Like, there was a lot of space on the right side. I know he's a left footer on the right side, but still, I think he had the skill and ability to take. Yeah, he had the skill and ability to take Hernandez on the right side. And he didn't do it on the outside.
The thing with Saka, there's two issues. Sometimes Henderson will come and run on the outside of him. I think because Walker wasn't attacking, he tried to be like that Walker type option. But then what he did was bring another defender over to Saka, so he can't go 1v1. That's if Saka can go straight away. And I feel like secondly, Saka sometimes doesn't. It's almost like he doesn't know how good he is sometimes. Like, he doesn't feel like he's an out winger.
Yeah,
and he hasn't got winger mentality. That way he has a direct, aggressive mentality. He's going to take his man on. I feel like he grows into it. If he feels like he's got you, then he's going to start going and going.
It reminds me of, remember when in the Brazil game, you see when Anthony came on?
Getting at his winger.
He came on. He was not here to play. He came on. He was at that right back all game.
Getting on to him.
At the left back all game. I would love to have seen Saka with a more aggressive mentality.
But Saka, shout out to him. He played well that game yesterday.
I think he was England's best player.
Yeah, by far. He played well. Like, there was a couple of people that I think defensively the team played well. Like, there was no bozo moments. I said it before that Giroud in the aerially is a problem, and he scored a header. I said
but I wouldn't say Giroud was a problem. I would just say that ball from Griezmann, crazy. The whip, the pace,
Fam,
it's undefendable. You can't defend that.
Denz, you did mention that Griezmann was the main guy.
He's the X factor. If Griezmann plays well, they're going to be hard to beat, and that's what happened. But France weren't even hard to beat, to be honest. They were even
It's
hard
moments,
to beat.
innit? They got the better quality in the better moments. Ultimately, they took their moments, better quality shown. Like
So-
I was doubting Griezmann, but Griezmann sometimes some of the flicks he did, the pockets he was picking up, he's just tidy. He's just quality, innit? And Tchouameni, this is like a speculative shot at the box. Let's say 80 times out of 100, that's not even on target. 99
goal,
times out of
man.
100, it's not a goal.
Like,
But the thing is, yeah, like you're saying quality. I don't think the quality is what beat England. It was the lack of risk taken. Because the quality we saw after England went 1-0 down, there was quality. We was playing better than France were. We had enough quality, but it's just the bench wasn't used properly. Because if Southgate tapped into the bench, why on earth he brought on Mount? Only God knows. Only God knows. If you're going to take off Henderson or a midfielder, bring on either an attacker or move Foden into the middle where it's creative. Bring on Rashidi on the left. Pull the wingers apart. You've got space to operate. He wasn't brave enough. For me, yeah, Kane missed a penalty. Man, like Sugar Kane. Hit Rosette. Missed a penalty. But I'm not going to blame everything on Kane. Yeah, he missed a penalty, but that penalty was what? 70th minute? 60-something minute? There was still more than 20 minutes. There was 8 minutes at a time. You had about half an hour to make a difference. Manager's bringing on Rashidi 85th minute. People are going to say, yeah, he brought on Sterling. But Sterling just got his house robbed. He was in England till the day before the game. He ain't trained. He hasn't trained. So you got man that's trained, but he brought Sterling on. That shows favoritism. The guy wasn't prepped for this game. Mentally, physically, he was not prepped.
What I would say is with Southgate, yeah, he has his favourites, but let's be honest, a lot of his favourites have played well for him. Everybody was saying, drop Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire was the best defender this whole tournament for England. Let's be real. Harry Maguire was the best defender.
I'll give it to Luke Shaw, to be honest.
Luke Shaw? Nah,
Yeah,
Harry Maguire.
Sure, bruv.
I think Harry Maguire was he's better than two centre backs at least.
He's
better than John Stones at least. For me, he was a threat going forward. He was sound defensive. He gave away a few passes that didn't lead to anything catastrophic or a goal.
I mean, like I said, Harry Maguire hasn't been a big issue. I agree.
No.
And Southgate trusted him. So if Southgate trusts Sterling, and this is probably Sterling's not last tournament, but last time starting for England in a major tournament, I would say. You got to move on from that. I think he's kind of done. So Southgate, to this point, I feel like most of his decisions have gone well. It's just a few that haven't. So I can't kill the man for a few. He hasn't.
Bruv, I'm not even killing him. I'm nailing him to the cross as we speak, bruv. Because there is favoritism. Yeah, you can argue that. Yeah, a lot of his trusted Donnies have worked out for him.
Even
But
Hendo last game, he scored.
Yeah, but then there's a thing called management. There's reading the game and seeing how the game's going and understanding the situation. If you're going to bring in, as much as you love Sterling, he's just gone through a situation which is mentally crazy. Apart from the mental aspect, he hasn't trained. So physically, he's not as sharp as some of the other players you have available. We saw the last game, the impact of Rashidi. So you've seen it. So you've got all these other points pointing that you should play Rashidi or bring him on before Sterling.
And the thing is, yeah, at the top level, the big boy games, it's those subtle little differences, the subtle little things that make the difference. And he's shown, unfortunately, Gareth Southgate time and time again,
Doesn't have it.
he doesn't have it at this level. He does not have it.
Which one do you think? Which one do you think is worse, the Euro final or this game? I think the Euro final is even worse than this, though.
Yes.
Euro final is even worse.
Because them man were old. Italy were old.
Yeah.
If you just went all out attacking against Italy, he actually played for penalties in that game.
Yeah.
And you're in the final, you might as well go for it.
At home.
At home too. That's even
England,
worse than this.
This team, yeah, is better than the 2018 team. France's team is worse than the 2018 team. Like, everyone's saying England played well. Of course, England played well. This is one of their best teams of all time.
Yeah.
They're going to play well. But you need the manager to put you over the top. And he can't do it.
What I also I'm going to defend Southgate a little bit here, because if you really think about it, yeah, outside of Rashford and Kane, how many match winners do England have? Like certified match winners who can just a chance falls to them, they're likely to back. There's not many, is there?
Who do you
You
say?
could say the same for France.
Match
Outside
winners.
of Mbappe,
Oh, well, you said Kane and who?
Rashford.
Rashidi. You could say the same thing for France. How many match winners
But-
have they got?
Their match winners are Mbappe, who's arguably the best player in the world, Giroud and Griezmann, I would say. Them three, you can just trust them all the time. Whereas England, outside of Kane in the start 11, who do you trust to get to back? So to go and win the game, his options are limited, I would say, in my opinion. Because if you think about it, Grealish hasn't really done much. And Mount hasn't done much. He could have trusted Maddison, but Maddison hasn't played at this level ever in his life. Calvin Phillips, he probably should have played Calvin Phillips a bit more. I feel like what he could have done is all like small margins, really, really small margins. Ultimately, if you have a penalty to square the game up at 85th minute, I just checked, you got to bag it by your best player. You got to bag it.
That's the thing. Like, it comes to a thing of even before the World Cup.
Yeah.
That's what, remember we were saying?
Yeah.
We were saying, give other players a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Because if one of your players get injured or they're not firing, you've given them the experience of international play. Now you can come on and they're not overruled by the occasion. We said it.
Exactly.
You're
And
right.
now, because you didn't do it, you can't change it up. See, it's bad management by Southgate.
He killed himself.
Bad management.
Because remember, as Denzel's point before the World Cup, when he selected Ivan Toney for that game, he didn't bring him on. Did not bring him on, so he couldn't see how Toney would work in the team, how he would deal with the pressure. He had no idea what he could do. He didn't bring him on. If we're talking about Maddison was fit after the second game. Could have brought him on against Wales, comfortable, but he didn't bring him on. So he had no idea what Maddison, even against Morocco when they were 3-0 up at like after the 50th or 60th minute, could have brought Maddison. He didn't want to take risk. He's got his favourites.
Yeah, it's like Brazil, all the attacking talent, but they all got minutes in the tournament. As soon as Brazil, he rotated all of them, and they were all ready to play, ready to step in because they had minutes.
Exactly.
Last thing on the England game, I'll say is the ref. The ref didn't help England one bit. The ref was terrible. We got to be honest, lads.
The ref
Gotta
was
be
shocking.
honest. For the first goal, probably shouldn't have stood. He should have given the foul there.
Saka. Yeah.
Shouldn't. The first goal shouldn't have stood. There at least should have been a free kick outside the box for Harry Kane when it's a possible penalty.
Yeah.
At least should be a free kick. Saka was fouled many more times. No fouls, but yeah.
One more before we move on. Yeah, I got to bring this up. Harry Kane. Is he who we think he is? Because
No comment.
El Caps he's been saying he ain't that guy, and in this generation, people in this country compare him with
Really.
Benzema and Lewandowski. And I was thinking earlier, like if I ask both of you, Karim Benzema, can you think of an iconic game or iconic moment that Benzema's had?
Semi-finals, Champions League.
Champions League, back to
But
back.
let's be real. He's done nothing on the international stage. International stage is a different ball game. Not
Benzema,
many
don't you
players.
remember that the Euros? Remember that goal that he scored in the quarterfinals when the ball was behind him, flipped it across with his left foot, come across back.
They lost that game though. They lost that game against Switzerland.
But that was the best goal I've seen in my life. That goal was crazy.
Hardly anyone steps up to international level.
But you're
It's a different
saying
ball game.
Benzema. You're saying Benzema hasn't done anything internationally. He was suspended for the last 6 years.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, this character plays.
He wasn't allowed. He
But I'm
wasn't
saying
allowed to
Harry
play.
Kane overall, like not just on the instant. Overall, people in this country compare him with Benzema and Lewandowski, and I'm saying,
Yeah, but I'm sure
Kane is a fantastic player, but I think he's overrated. And I've never backed down from that point. Kane for me is overrated.
like if
He's
I
not my
ask you,
favorite striker.
like Benzema, he's had this iconic run in Champions League, Ballon d'Or winner. Like I said, back-to-back hat tricks. One of the top Champions League goal scorers of all time. Robert Lewandowski, one of the top Champions League goal scorers.
bro, he plays for Bayern Munich. They have like the best team and the best team in Bundesliga and the second best team in Bundesliga.
Again,
The gap is like
Lewandowski,
worlds
yeah.
apart.
I like Lewandowski, but again,
Kane
he's a
is
tad
better than
overrated as well.
Lewandowski.
Lewandowski, he's a tad overrated because for Poland, he goes missing.
Nothing for Poland.
Missing.
Nothing. Zero.
Again, people are. We're talking about the overall club and country.
Yeah, including bro, Lewandowski's career. Harry Kane can do that. Harry Kane scored like, remember that there was a season Harry Kane was on par with Messi and Ronaldo. He scored like 45 goals. And Messi and Ronaldo just scored like 50 goals that season. He's doing this for Tottenham. Daddy Ali, Moussa Dembele. I'm not saying Kane is better than Benzema. I think he's at least on the same level as Lewandowski for me.
Again, Robert Lewandowski. If I go back and look at some of the top iconic moments of Lewandowski, 4 goals against Real Madrid in the Champions League.
I'm not having it.
Bundesliga,
Munich, they've won
Kane
10
won.
leagues in a row. Is that league competitive? No.
I hear that, but 5 goals against a team in 9 minutes, 1-0 down.
Like Harry Kane, yeah, the film of Harry Kane.
What is Harry Kane's iconic moment?
When you play for Tottenham, you're not gonna have iconic moments.
No, but even if you take away the iconic moments, yeah, and the times when he's been needed the most, he's gone missing. Every tournament that Harry Kane's played in, he hasn't played well.
I'm not gonna.
He has not played well in the tournaments.
He played well last World Cup. I'll give him that.
The last World Cup, that was Sterling.
No, that was
Euro. That was Euros. Last World Cup, but where did I get him in? The semi-final. Remember semi-final when he should have squared it to Sterling.
Boy, again, exactly like
that was his iconic moment. He should have squared it to Sterling.
If I'm gonna get onto Harry Kane, you got to get onto Lewandowski for international, man.
Oh yeah, no, I just said it. He doesn't do nothing for Poland. Nada. That's why they took that Ballon d'Or away from him in 2020.
And if we're being real, when Ronaldo was at Real Madrid, what was Benzema doing? 15 goal seasons.
Benzema was assisting them.
15 goal seasons in the best team in the world.
Benzema was getting
20 goal season in the best team in the world. That's not good.
Ronaldo. Well, it was Benzema, Higuain, Ronaldo, and Benzema and Higuain were getting 20 each. Ronaldo's getting 50. Remember, your Ronaldo, everywhere he's been, the teams has had to be around Ronaldo. So he's going to be your figure. He's going to be a spearhead. And there was at that point where it was Madrid versus Barcelona, Messi versus Ronaldo. So Madrid were incentivized to make sure that Ronaldo is just as up there as Messi, because that was their main guy. That was more than football, because Ronaldo is a shirt salesman.
But let's be real. Majority of Benzema's career, he hasn't really scored enough goals. Majority of his career, it's just since Ronaldo.
Ever since Ronaldo said he's been banging 30 a season.
So what I'm trying to say, hasn't he underperformed majority of the time?
No, since Ronaldo left, he's been bagging 30 a season.
Boy.
I wouldn't say that. But saying all this to say Gareth Southgate, or the future England manager moving forward, needs to think about introducing the next England striker, because we're not going to see a better Harry Kane than we're seeing now. It's only downhill from here, in my opinion. He's not going to get faster. Injuries will start catching up.
Yeah. 100%.
So,
But I don't know who that guy is, though. But boy.
Would you? One more quick question. Would you, if you were the FA, would you continue with Southgate moving forward, or would you let him go?
Sack him.
I'll continue, because I don't see much better out there. I don't see the point disrupting everything when you still got great players coming through. I feel like this has been the best harmony they've had since forever, anyway. Since I've been watching. So why mess with it now? And I feel like they can easily win the Euros next in 2 years.
I would sack him. I would have sacked him before the World Cup. I'd sack him now, because I feel like he can get maybe a Eddie Howe. It's not like you're managing the team 24/7. There's periods. I'd sack him. I don't think he's good enough. It's been clear. It's been illustrated time and again that he hasn't got the tactical adjustments to push his team over the edge. He's not good enough. Like, it's been based on how good the team are, not based on how good a manager Southgate is. Yeah, he might be good in terms of keeping the peace between the teams, but these days all these players are all friends anyways, so he's not really doing much there. He's not good enough. It's just that he's had you just said, yeah, this is the greatest England team of all time, or one of the greatest England teams of all time. It's not because of Southgate, it's just because of players. There's the ability that they've got, not because of what Southgate's done for them. He's rubbish. That guy should be sacked. That's why Middlesbrough sacked him.
It's a tough one because the only reason I would hesitate is because there's no ready replacements out there. I don't think England should look to get a foreign coach. I don't think that bodes well for them long term. I think with the young crop of English players, it's probably in England's best interest to get a English manager to manage them.